What is up, everybody? This is Mark the Mike, and this is another the Wrestling Babble podcast by Red Cycling Ring. I'm Mark the Mike. I'm joined by my partner, Louis Beans.
What is up? What is up?
And we got some talk wrestling to talk about. We got Bad Blood review. But first, we go to our wrestling retrospect, and you picked Gigi Dolan, also known as Priscilla Kelly. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
she did some weird shit. I think she was the one that got, like, it was a controversial shit that she put a tampon in someone's mouth and then kicked him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was her.
She also stink palm. Tried to stink palm her opponent one time. Terrible.
Yep.
But I noticed one thing that I think the reason why she got hired was that you could see even like back then that she was trained really well.
Yeah. So, um, it was your pick, so you go first.
All right, the first one I have, which it made me a fan of the other person as well. It is Priscilla Kelly versus Kenzie Page.
Okay.
And this is it says Crossfire Women's Wrestling. This is on Title Match Wrestling.
Mhm.
Let's see if they have the date because this is not new. It says October 2019, no date. So before the pandemic. Um, in this match, the reason I say I was a fan of, came away a fan of Kenzie Page was that I've seen the name,
Yeah.
and so if that's 2019, apparently in this match she's 17.
No shit.
And the way she wrestles is like somebody who's been in the business for like at least 5 or 6 years. So again, props to whoever trained her. Um, and again, this was the thing I told you like before we started is that you see, of course, Gigi became controversial for the things she did, like during the matches. But if you actually watched her wrestle, it's like, oh damn, she's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Um, so this one. And again, I don't know how many years Kenzie Page trained at that age. So I don't. It looks like she trained maybe since she was like 14 or something like that. Um, but it's a super solid match. Like something that I'm not for nothing. She's like it's just skill wise, based on what I watched, is it's above what's par for the course for the new generation and say like NXT. Like
Yeah.
I'm like she's good. Good.
Yes.
Um, like maybe the one highlight in the match for Kelly's craziness is at one point they do the test of strength, and right before she's about to accept it, she puts both her hands in her tights and then picks them out. And to the girl doesn't even care. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what do you guys do? And then so she wins via distraction because she has this dude that's her partner. I'm not familiar with who like her whole character at the time, but it's some guy with a pink blazer and like bleach blonde hair.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he distracts the ref. She like gives her like a swift kick in the other girl a swift kick in the face, and then German suplexes her, and then snatches the pin, and that's it.
Yes. My first match comes from the Mae Young Classic. This was actually when I first seen Priscilla Kelly. It was against Deanna Peraza in the first round of the Mae Young Classic, 2018. So that was the first. No, yeah, that was the first one. Yeah. So yeah, Deanna Peraza versus Priscilla Kelly. Um, this is where I got introduced to her, and I kind of followed her after that and see what other matches she had. Very technical sound, a very back and forth match. We know Deanna Peraza is very technical, but I didn't know how technical Priscilla Kelly at this moment was, but it was actually a really good back and forth match. It was caught with Fuji armbar from her. So she went for her finish, and she caught her with the Fuji armbar when she. So the finisher she had, she kind of does it as Gigi Dolan now. She does like I forgot the name of the move, but she'll grab your arms and swing her legs. It's like a cradle, but it goes a cradle bomb. Liv Morgan uses it now too. There's like an inside cradle that turns into a bomb, and I think she used that as a finisher as Gigi Dolan. So she tried to do that, but got caught into the Fuji armbar. So yep, that's my first match. Good match. 2018. So there, yeah, first round Mae Young Classic 2018, September 12th.
So the second one I have, it says it is Shimmer Shine. I guess maybe it's an interpromotional thing.
Yeah,
If you want to see it, it's on the WWR Women's Revolution YouTube, which has a lot of matches. I think this one, let's see the date if they have it. It looks like it was, see, it says it was put up January 18th, 2018. Not exactly sure that's when it happened. Maybe. This one is Jordan Grace versus Priscilla Kelly. Um, Also, I think it's pretty funny. They both have jet black hair.
yeah,
Shaped differently, but they both have jet black hair. This is her where she has like a crown of roses, of black roses. That's Priscilla Kelly's look.
yeah.
And she's the champion of the promotion.
Okay,
So I guess she's the WWR champion. Like, a really cool belt also. This one is not so much of her doing anything technical. It's literally just her striking and beating the crap out of Jordan. And then Jordan's offense, of course, still familiar, but it's still the power game. But like she has a lot of like strong man, strong woman submission stuff. So it's like bear hugs,
yeah,
um, and like well, she would cradle you. See, it's like it was a okay. So there's a spot in the match right where she catches her off guard. She cradles her, and then Gigi turns it into a guillotine. But then Jordan kind of reverses that also into like a I don't want to say it's super. Like, I guess maybe like a belly to belly
yeah,
because of the way her arms are. Um, and then so there's a pretty cool moment where she goes for the muscle buster, and then basically you think, oh no, it's over because that was like should be the end of the match right there. But as commentary tells you, oh, it would be amazing if this was she just won the belt and she lost on her first defense. Oh no, so they gotta swerve it. It's like no, she's not going down. She doesn't do the move that you were talking about,
yeah.
which I know she had. Actually, I think it was mostly just. So I don't know what you call it specifically. It's like on the ground in octopus submission.
Oh, okay.
You know the way Oscar does it when somebody's standing up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So basically, that's how she taps Jordan out on the ground.
yeah. Okay. All right, right match. Next one is
I would
oh
also
yeah,
like to point out that when she beat her, she bit Jordan on the ass as she tried to roll out the ring.
there you
There's always something.
go. Always something.
Oh,
All right. My next match is Priscilla Kelly versus Roxy. This is Queens of the Ring. This was won by a small package and the pull of the tights. And she also faked the injury. So during the match, they were going at it. Roxy was dominant, and there was this move that looked like it hit the leg. So Priscilla Kelly decides to lie about her injury. She was like limping, and she was like telling the ref and stuff like that. And then Roxy's looking outside, and then she catches her with a roll up and pulls the tights and gets the win. But solid match going forward. It looks like they have chemistry, so hopefully when she comes back to WWE and NXT, maybe she can get some matches with Roxanne Perez. It was pretty solid, and but yeah, she cheated every single time she had a chance in this match.
do they have a date on that one?
This one is was this posted or I'll tell you right now. It was posted August 3rd, 2019.
Okay, got you.
I think
Got
this was around that time. Yeah, it was around that time. So yeah, yeah. The dates
you.
match. Okay. All right. Yeah, next one.
And this one is most recent of the three. It says it was on NXT November 14th, 2023. This one is Gigi Dolan, aka Georgina, versus Ariana Grace. And I picked this one because this is the beginning of the Georgina storyline,
Yeah.
where Ariana Grace is tired of her being nasty and rude and decides to teach her manners in the ring. Unfortunately, she does not win this match, but it's not a super long match. And not for nothing, the star I guess here is actually Ariana Grace because I think this is one of like the first matches. At this point, she didn't have that many matches on the show.
Yeah.
Like she was mostly a background character that talked a lot.
Yeah.
So this one, you can actually see how good she is. Gigi. So the movie you're talking about is how Gigi wins with
Okay.
a kick to the face and then the cradle into the powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
But the funnier thing at the end of the match is, even though she loses, Ariana Grace puts on the crown and is crying and puts on the crown and the sash and starts waving to the crowd like you boy. So thus begins the saga of Georgina.
Yeah.
Still waiting for her to come back.
Yeah. Um, I actually picked a. I found an NXT match. So it'd be a bit more current. I think she was one of Saraya's matches when she first came to WWE. So Saraya versus Gigi Dolan. This was July 13th, 2021. That's my sister's birthday. And the how that match ends, she gets drop kicked the living shit out of her, and you saw her soul leave. But beyond that, it was actually a really good back and forth match. Very technical sound. Again, Soraya, it was the Sailor Moon kind of get up in NXT. Well, it was before the Sailor Moon get up, so this was still black and gold at the time. Um, they had a good back and forth match. A lot of submissions. But then Soraya catches her with that bullet drop kick that her soul left, and that's how she won. So that was the end of the match. I would think that drop kick was a finish, but it wasn't. It was like a it was a back suplex, but that drop kick looked evil. So yeah, that was my last one. I think this was actually the beginnings of toxic attraction again too, because it looked because Mandy Rose was outside like scouting Gigi Dolan at the time.
Okay.
But Saray, that was the name, Saray. That was the chick. She's in back in. She's in Mardi Gras, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, that dropkick is evil. Anyway, that was my last match. We go into Bad Blood review. Itch my back. Ugh. Next, and we go to Wrestling Respect. New person will be at the end of the show. So we go to our review of Bad Blood. Before we go into Bad Blood, how did you like the build up into going into Bad Blood? Or what?
So we had mostly grudge matches, which made sense
Yeah,
because of the name of the game. Um, I'm trying to see if anything was out of place. No,
I
I
think
think
everything.
that's
Yeah, everything
kind of
played.
what made sense about the show is that everything was somebody had wronged someone else,
Yeah.
and it was time for somebody to get their ass whooped. So there you go.
Yep. All right. So we kick off this pay per view. I actually thought the build up was. I think Punk and Drew McIntyre have been building this since WrestleMania and been excellent every single time they are on TV. The Balor Priest. I
Well, no,
wanted.
no,
Huh?
it's actually what Royal Rumble, right?
Uh.
Because that's when he injured him and said, "I prayed for this."
Yeah. He did. So probably even before that then. Cause
No,
he,
no. The Monday night after Royal Rumble was when he said that.
yeah,
He didn't have to say that.
okay,
He didn't have to say that. So he
that is
started
true.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Yeah, and then he came back with the injury and cost him the title. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, it built up. I think it build up to probably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen. Like this shit was bloody as fuck, and that it was just like, crazy. But we'll get into that in a second. I did like the bloodline stuff. Kind of built into the later part of it. I was interested into the tag match, but I was just wondering where it was gonna go. We had Priest and Balor. They kind of had it going, but I kind of wish it was more aggressive and actually be more like on Finn Balor's side. But other than that, like I think everything had its build-ups, everything had its rivalries, and I thought they did a good job in building this card. As in everything that was on this card was it was a fight that had to be done, and that's how this card was built. So the first match was the Hell in a Cell. This is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in the Hell in the Cell.
Yep. So like we said, uh, a year
Yeah,
and a half. So these two guys have been talking immense amounts of trash. Drew started it. He didn't have to say what he said. And so once Punk took his revenge at WrestleMania, Drew got his by stealing his bracelet, calling his calling his dog ugly, and it's been off to the races since then because they just got more aggressive. Once Punk healed up, they had matches. One of them was a strap match, which again it has that hasn't been around, hasn't been done in a little bit. You remember when the last one was? It was a while, right?
Cody.
Cody and who? I'm trying to
Cody's
remember.
solo, I think.
Okay. So it was that the year before?
Yeah,
23rd, 2023?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So then apparently not. Um, my question is that a match type in the game? If not, put the
Strap.
strap.
No, they had never put the strap match in a game.
Put it in the game.
It'd be kind of annoying
Hey,
because
listen,
you
it
gotta
is what
hit
it is.
the top the tops after once you like. That'll be annoying.
It is what it is. Listen, just make it cinematic. That's
There
all I'm
you go.
saying. Make it a cutscene. Um, but so we had that. I'm trying to think. What was the other one? They had one other match that was other than the strap match before this one.
They had a one on one, just a regular one on one
It was a
match.
regular fight.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was a
so
regular fight, and then it was a strap match, and then it went into this.
okay, so there was an actual build up to this. It wasn't just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Again, so this made sense. Um, the violence was good. The only thing I would say is that it at one point it looked like Punk was trying to kill Drew with the piece of the table that didn't stand up because the little stick or leg or whatever was
Yeah.
poking out, and I thought he was gonna stab Drew.
Yeah, that was actually he almost caught him too.
And I was like, "What do you got? Oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do this, please." Um, Other than that, everything else kind of flowed how you would expect it to. I mean, you see them bring out the toolbox. You got the wrench. I hope that's a new weapon. The wrench.
The wrench.
Um, Drew taking that toolbox to the forehead and just a waterfall coming out of his face.
Yeah.
Punk with the flying right into the what is it, the cell, and then his head is just exploding. So I'm also glad that Punk did not uh become origami Punk and fold up because thankfully hopefully he's not injured. It's
Yeah.
just storyline.
Yeah.
I think maybe the best part was near the end with the beads,
Yeah.
the bag, because I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty cool. And then Drew missing.
That shit hurt me. And I saw
that
that. Oh man, my back hurt. I was like, damn.
that was like Homer Simpson before directly on his spine
Yeah.
and folding it half.
Like, don't.
That yeah, that was the chef's kiss. You didn't need anything else after that.
I will say one thing I actually really loved about this match is that they made this match need a Hell in a Cell. It wasn't a Hell in a Cell and this match was in it. This match needed to be in Hell in a Cell in order to fucking end it. And that's something I give a lot of credit to it. And I like the fact that they're making Hell in a Cell that last the last fucked up last shit I'm gonna fuck you up in. This is gonna be it, and this is we're gonna end it. And I actually like the aftermath that they're both fucked up and they're not ready to come back. They both like beat the living shit out of each other, and they were on Raw, but they were like beat up and battered on Raw and shit like that. So at least they showed that as well. This was brutal as fuck. Like it was just the blood and everything like that. Again, that final thing when he missed that kick and that bang on the steel steps that hurt me more than anything. And then him putting the bees in his mouth too. I was scared for him probably choking on one too. I was like, God damn it, those shits are small. The match was great. It's a 5 star. Like I can't give it less than that. Like they fucking delivered, and they delivered as a final match, and they don't have to touch each other for a long time. Maybe every Royal Rumble they'll go recapture it, but they don't need to fight no more. Unless Drew hasn't learned his lesson, and most likely he hasn't, and he's still gonna talk shit.
This is true.
Cause he's talked
He
shit about his dog the next day.
player hated.
But yeah, it's a 5 for me.
I would agree.
WWE Women's Championship match. You got Bailey versus Nia Jax.
And I know this one made sense because Nia took the championship from Bailey.
Yep.
This one was kind of her proving that really she didn't need Tiffany Stratton to beat her.
Yeah.
And then just in general during the match, I would say quite possibly one of Nia's best matches. But then again, she had another match like after this one, and I'm telling you, she just keeps getting better and better
Yeah.
as a character and then as a performer. So, but I think this was like the pinnacle, so you can see how good she was. There was some things she did where, again, she didn't have to do them, where she shifted her body weight to throw off Billy when she tried to powerbomb her.
Yeah. That didn't work out the way they wanted, but that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's again, it's stuff that you didn't have to do
Yeah.
because, and like, of course, commentary took us a second to catch on to it, but
Yeah.
they gave it the credit that it needed to have, like the recognition. You had the funny thing where, like, and again, even it made sense in the context where Bailey kicked Nia in the head and she fell on the ref,
Yeah.
knocked the poor ref out, and it's just like, damn, it should have been me. Insert Nick Nemeth face.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I think we know Bailey's been on a tear and just having extremely good matches, right?
Yeah.
Again, I think this is probably will be because she lost, it'll probably be looked at as overlooked,
Yeah.
as in like, oh, she wasn't champ the entire time, so she, you know, the spotlight won't exactly be on her. But I think credit is where credit is due. So they both pulled off a really good job, and they managed to keep Tiffany involved in the match in some sort of way.
That shit had me laughing when she fucking Undertaker rised.
She's like, "What? Who did that?
That shit.
Was it you?"
Someone put the meme of the dong and that shit had me fucking
Mm-hmm.
laughing. But I thought they did a great job. I actually liked this match. I thought they executed very well in this match, and Naya's I think just found herself in the ring. I think she knows her spots where she's strong at. She knows her spots where like she needs work at, and I think she has gotten better throughout the time. I think she's just became a great champion. I've been liking what she's been doing, and her and Bailey have very good chemistry. They work very good together. So um, I'll go 4-2-5 with this match.
I think I'm gonna go 4 or 5.
Respect.
So, hmm
Um, the next match is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor.
Uh, as it cost him, it just didn't feel like they went far enough. I think maybe the lack of a stipulation was probably why it didn't feel as intense as it could have been.
Yeah,
Because I think if it was, you can't duplicate a Hell in a Cell, but if this was maybe, well, you can't do a cage match, but it just needed something. It needed like maybe make it a TLC match, maybe make it uh loser gets something, maybe something that's hanging above the ring. This did need a ladder match. It needed to be something extra
yeah,
because just the way it went, it being a regular match with interference that didn't work,
yeah,
I think that took away from it also. It was just like, yeah, and then Finn hit him with like two coup de grace, and then the third one, it didn't do anything. It was like third one he got caught, and it's like I get the building up of Priest.
yeah,
It also does feel like at some point you're taken away from Finn Balor.
yeah. I agree with that.
So I can't get this one higher than 375. Like not a
Um,
bad match, but it for the pay per view, it didn't go as far as it needed to.
I think it needed a gimmick. I agree with you there. I feel like they've been doing this rivalry and stuff like that. And the fact that it's bad blood, that you want it to be aggressiveness too. And I think the match wasn't as aggressive as I thought it should be too. They make Balor look so weak at times, and that's one thing that really bothers me. And the fact that he took three coup de grace and fucking still kicked out and got up and still took down the Judgment Day. It kind of like, yes, I understand he's the bigger dude, and but you overpower him, and you don't make the Judgment Day look like they're important or like they could hurt him. Um, I'm gonna go agree with you with 375, maybe 3-5 because I wanted this match to have a bit more things. Maybe if it had the stipulation, maybe like a last man standing, because then you could have a reason why you had their interference without the refs fucking taking them out. But last man standing could have done something with it. You could did the strap match with this one. You could have did a lumberjack match and add the LWO and all the motherfuckers out there. But seeing that they all got involved, they could all get involved in that match. But it was missing something. I think like just a plain regular match, I think just didn't help it. So I agree with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go 375. And I also wanted it to be a bit more aggressive. I feel like again, y'all just got kicked out of the group and all that shit. When the match started, y'all should have just started beating the shit out of each other. It should not just be a regular match. Gunther Goldberg and then Sami Zayn beat his ass. Fuck Goldberg.
Well, it wasn't really a match.
It wasn't.
I like
Uh,
to pretend Goldberg wasn't there.
yeah. I just think about Sami Zayn just beating up Gunther. That's what I saw. Women's World Champion. Actually, shout outs to like they showing casing the legends that were there. You saw Jacqueline. You saw Scott Steiner. You saw a bunch of people that got just legend contracts now. They had like a little backstage party and all that stuff too. Chelsea Green still stink from Third Friday. It was all good. It was all funny. Hate on her. They hate so much on her. Anyway, she should have got the tomato juice. Next match is the Women's World Championship match. You got Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage.
See, this one again. This is what the third match.
Yeah. This will be match number 4. Oh, between Liv and.
No, this is the third one for the title. The first one, Liv
Oh
won,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. This is the third match. Yeah.
The second one was on TV, right?
Yeah.
And this was on the pay-per-view match. Um, and I think this is how you separate all the matches from each other because this is completely different. Like this one had something going on outside. Like yes, we're gonna get a good match between the two girls, but Ba- For it to be on the pay-per-view, Bad Blood, you need something else to stand in it to make it seem like this is uh an into a feud. So having Dom suspended in the cage was good. The camera work going to him, the camera work from him being suspended up there, I thought was actually pretty good. I think between the two girls though, they don't have bad matches. So at this point, they have the good chemistry. They know how to do things that are different between each match so that they don't feel exactly the same. I think Liv, again, she won't get the credit for like the way the way she innovates because she's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
People supposed to hate her, but her doing the sunset like flip
Yeah.
all out of the ring to Rhea into the thing was like, oh, come on, man. People pretend that she's not doing any type of new things. She did a jumping, what is it, code breaker and call
Yeah.
her lovely. Like, again, there's stuff that she does that's like the Liv of maybe even a year ago wouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Like, this Liv champion, I think, is better than when she beat Ronda. You know what
I
I mean?
think
Like,
this is her best title reign so far.
yeah, again,
I
but
think she's like holding herself a bit more as a champion. Like the other one, I felt like they didn't believe in her, and now they believe in her.
I think maybe it was a little bit she didn't believe in herself
Yeah,
at that
probably that
point.
too.
Um, but again, she's doing better. So props to her. Obviously, Rhea's killing it, and she's doing stuff that she wouldn't normally do. She's taking some moves from Priest, which again is adding to the team up between those two. Her doing the razor's edge and whatnot. Her making fun of Dom. Her doing the yeet and then doing the frog splash.
Yeah.
Again, it's like character things that when you talk about a feud, it's like if and I hate to dump on anybody else, but it's kind of the difference between WWE's characters and AEW is like
Yeah.
these people have a reason to fight each other, and when they have a moment, they take digs and they remind you, oh, these people aren't just wrestling just to wrestle.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to show each other up with moves. It's like, oh, they don't like each other. Oh, that's a reference to this, and that's a reference, and that's why I like the match. So I'll give it a 4.25. It wasn't like the best women's match, but
I like the
everything
match.
else added to it. And then
Yeah.
Dom falling out was
Yeah. I
the
like the
icing on the
match.
cake.
I liked the match. I liked the shit with Dom at the when he fell out and she didn't even focus on the match. She went straight after attacking Dom and stuff like that. I think they again the ending was a boo boo. I think they fucked up the positioning and something went wrong there. That it just the communication wasn't there because even that Tahina bomb that she does didn't look great. It looked
Mm-hmm.
extremely slow. So there was something off with that whole situation. And I would give it more points if they actually nailed it because honestly, I think she should have attacked her once. Well, once she started attacking Dom, that's when you should have saw Raquel Rodriguez come in, knock her out. Then Liv should have actually just won with the pin. But I should have been more cleaner with that because you had a big person return, and then you still haven't really gave answers afterwards anyway. But I didn't mind that part, but again, it's that was the only thing that kind of just like threw off the match for me. So I'll go 4 with this match. Everything else they nailed it, and I think they again their chemistry is getting better and better. And again, like you said, Liv Morgan might not get the credit that she deserves for getting better and being better in that ring, but she has been a lot better than. She's a lot better character, and now she's a lot better in that ring too. Um, so I'll go forward with that. And then our main event: Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sakura and Jacob Fatu.
And I think this was a good match. Uh, is this the was that match the first match that Roman had back?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so it makes sense. For it to be the main event and whatnot, it's a pretty big event. The so in terms of the match itself, I think it delivered. I think there was a lot of moments that made sense that stood out. I think the one thing I think though that seemed maybe it was an evolution of his character though. was there wasn't a lot of jaw jacking between him and Cody before like, oh, I'm gonna start the match. None of this. There's a lot of things that you would expect these types of matches to have, and I think maybe that's just something I'm not used to.
I just think Roman's not that guy.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
this is what I was saying. Like, there's an evolution of of his character. He's not typical.
yeah.
So, but I do like there's some things that happen, like when Cody was getting his ass whooped, and he looked at him and said, "Look, hey, listen, I told you, I told you it was bad." Um, the one thing I do think that this match didn't deliver on was like the showdown between him and Jacob. But I
yeah,
do believe they're gonna hold off to that
yeah.
because they rarely touched in
You
this
got you
match.
got you got teased it.
Hmm.
That was the only thing you got. You did get the tease with it, and that was it.
Yep. Um, I will say Cody Splash, like the way. Okay, so the things that I think were amazing, besides Jacob doing what Jacob do, was how they had to make it seem like in order to take Jacob out of the match, you had to do something extreme like that.
Yeah,
So Cody diving on him in the table, it was like this has to happen.
with the
And then they
salute.
made it seem Cody had to make, they had to do it where if he does this, he's done. So when he looked at Roman when he was on the mat, he said, he gave him a salute. He's like, I'm done, but I'm taking him with me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, little character moments that make a lot of sense for the match. So that made sense. And then it was just down to the one on one. But then we had the return of Jimmy, which that made me happy.
Yeah,
Jimmy was back in the house. And so like it wraps itself up like that. And I think for the match, it wasn't the best match they could have had, but it served a good purpose in pushing the story forward.
yeah. I
And then of
agree with
course
that.
you had things at the end. If you want to add or take away from that, that's whatever. But as in terms from bell to bell, I'll give the match a 4.25.
I'll go 4 or 5 just in general, just how they told the story. I did like the interactions between Cody and Roman because Roman, again, like I think Roman is just that character. He's not your typical bad guy. He's not your typical good guy. He's Roman. So him like taking the tag and letting the crowd actually build to the tag and stuff like that. Like the little shit that he did just brought him back, and again he was missed, and I think him being back more is gonna be great. Um, Again, I see that they teased Jacob Fatu and Roman. I think that we are going to get that down the road, but I think they did a good job in teasing it. Jimmy returning was fucking great. How he did it was great, and then just I think again we're on like what season 5 of the Bloodline storyline right now. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1 just happened.
So, so
This is
you
probably
also
be
have
like episode 2 because Roman coming back is episode 1.
true. I guess you start the new season with the final boss showing back up.
Yeah, and then the ending with the final boss popping up, and that's gonna be interesting as well.
Because then they leave you with the mystery of what his hand gestures mean,
Yeah,
right? You can take it a lot of ways,
yeah,
but also there's things like the fans, Solo audibly saying things to the fans,
yeah,
where they're like, he's got
yeah,
words. So there's not even just theories. It's like, oh, it's like small pieces of this bigger puzzle. I'm like, oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's like it's not just the wrestling; it's the also the characters putting out like little tidbits of this and that, and
yeah,
then why they're doing this or what's their motivation. It's like, oh, everything just makes sense.
yeah,
Like even when Jimmy was like, "I'm with you, Goose," like Jimmy didn't just go to save Cody.
yeah.
He said, I'm waiting on you." So again, good stuff.
Storytelling. We like the
Yep.
storytelling. All right. Pay per view. We give it overall.
Overall, I give it. I guess I would say a 4.25, a 4.5 between that. So that's what A minus, B
Yeah,
plus.
I'll go 4. I think there were some hiccups in the match between the first one and the last one. I think there were some things they could have fixed in between those things, and some of the spots as well. But other than that, I'll go a 4. So I'll go like a B for the pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We go to podcast we listen to. We'll be reviewing AEW Wrestle Dream next week, so you'll have that review next week. I did listen to Chris Van Vliet. He had Bronson Reed. I actually really enjoyed that. It's a funny conversation. Um, what else? He had. I listened to the No Contest that this dude's Ice Cube's son. He has a podcast now. He has CM Punk on for 2 episodes. It was actually pretty good. Good conversation. His new one has Swerve on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was good. He talked. Punk actually got into a lot of other things that he talked about. He got talked about like what he really wanted to do with AEW. He's actually getting to do right now with WWE, with NXT, working with the younger people and stuff like that. And it's funny how they just asked him like, "Hey, you want to go to Florida to work with these guys?" He's like, "Sure," and like just how they bring it up and stuff. But he's also getting to work with like Shawn Michaels and Triple H and having more respect for one another. It just makes everything seems better in that sense, and it was a good conversation. Van Vliet had Bronson Reed. He also had what was the other one? Eric Young. That was actually pretty good.
Hmm.
He was supposed to be a Wyatt. He was supposed to be part of the original Wyatt thing with Bo Dallas and Bray,
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
because he was signed with WWE for a hot minute before, but they didn't use him, and then he went back to TNA. Also, Trick Williams was on it as well, which was like a week ago. Jonathan Coachman was on there too. Uh, I think Undertaker comes back on soon, so he has a lot of stuff going on. Also, shout outs to Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, and then also I have issues with Powertown because Powertown just delayed all the figures that they had for the Impact and the Brian Myers and Matt Cardona figures. They all got delayed again,
The
and the Impact figures as well.
There's one show I listened to this past week. Besides like the clips for Busted Open, there was a special Not Sam
Okay,
where he had Kurt Angle.
I meant to listen to that. How was that?
That's a really good.
Yeah,
Like he goes into a lot of stuff. So you want to hear about how it was for him to rise so quickly. You hear the time frames too, and it's like Jesus Christ, this guy went from not knowing anything about wrestling, and like 10 months he was a champ.
yeah,
But it was more like he showed like his work ethic, and like he went through some stuff. Like I didn't know he got concussed when he fought Triple H,
yeah,
and his head hit the concrete like during one of the matches. It was like he talked about him and Shane
yeah,
like in detail about how crazy Shane is. It was like he did not want to not do the spot.
yeah,
Like Shane is insane. We talked about his addiction. He talked about that TNA they spent buco bucks on him,
yeah,
and like that was kind of one of the reason why he stayed so long. You don't realize it like thinking about it, but he was there for 10 years, like 11 years almost.
he had a
Kind
longer
of crazy.
TNA career than WWE.
Yeah, he did,
Hmm.
but it was just like he had to leave WWE because he was burning himself out. Like he
Yeah,
was, you don't realize it until you think back to what he was physically doing. It was like, oh yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff,
yeah,
and he was hurt like the entire time. So
yeah.
yeah,
But
so that is a very good one.
yeah, I definitely would.
And
It's on my
and
list to
he's
listen
doing a
to.
movie about his life, so
Nice,
it's pretty
good
good.
for him. I do like his podcast. I do listen to it at times. So he went into some the Shane McMahon match a couple times on his podcast too. He
Mm-hmm.
actually tried to get Shane to go on it with him to actually talk about it, but they were supposed to happen, and this didn't happen. I think the host of Vince McMahon started, and kind of Shane kind of just went quiet.
Got you. Well, he's out there doing stuff now, so let's see
Yeah,
what happens.
we see what happens. But yeah, it definitely is something I want to listen to. I meant to listen to it. I just want to shout out NXT debuting on CW and having two great shows back to back. Um, and they beat sadly they did beat well not sadly because it's good for NXT, but they beat out AEW Dynamite both weeks. But excellent show. I actually liked the presentation. Shout outs to Tony D winning the North American Championship. Yeah, Trick Williams as NXT champion again. Um, so we got a lot of good stuff going with NXT, and NXT right now is on fire. I can't wait for next week. You'll have also had Randy versus Mr. Bouncy, and he still got RKO'd and bounced. Uh, and then we go to the wrestling retrospect, and it's my pick. And I just want to make sure I did not pick this person I had in mind. Where's the damn list? Here we go. Let's go. Damn, we actually went through a lot of people. That's why it makes it hard now. uh, you know what? You put him up on the other day, and I don't think we did Chris Canyon.
Okay.
And I think that he was extremely underrated, and I don't think we never actually got to see the best out of him because he was extremely good wrestler. But he has some really good stuff, and just watching him wrestle as the Mortis in WWE, like yo, he has some crazy moves that a lot of people took. So yeah, Chris Canyon would be my who better than Canyon?
You know what? They mentioned in some commentary on the last, what is it? The last AEW pay per view.
Yeah,
That's why Brian Cage says that. I didn't know that.
he trained him.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. He was trained by Chris Canyon. He's the one. He actually, Chris Canyon actually helped him pay for the school too. So
That's
he
cool.
took him under his wing and stuff. So he still does a lot of stuff for like to represent Canyon. So nice. All right, we'll wrap this up. This is the Wrestling Babble podcast. Thank you for listening. Follow us on all social medias: Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitch, and TikTok. All Mark the Mic, and also Red Link.
Yes, sir. Make sure you follow us anywhere Wrestling Clinic. That's Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. That's YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and we got a WordPress. So check it out.
Yep, yep. Peace out, laters, and always remember, follow the Jinkies.